Japanese convenience stores. If you've seen anything about them online, you know that they are one of the lifelines for pretty much a very, very, very large portion of Japanese people. And I am extremely jealous. This is a rant video. Now, I know some of you might be thinking something along those lines of like that one meme where it's like, thing in Japan? Listen, okay, calm down. We're focusing on Japanese convenience stores purely for the weeb click. Naturally, this also applies to other pedestrian-focused countries as well, you know, like probably China, Thailand, South Korea, the Korea boot click. The Japanese convenience store is also called konbini. Konbini? Don't put that in there. Don't put me struggling in there. Japanese convenience stores, also called konbini, have basically the same function as they do in the US, a place you stop to grab like food or drinks. But obviously, they are not the same. There are a few major differences that I will be eternally envious of. First, and the main reason, Japanese convenience stores actually sell balanced, healthy, more or less, and delicious full-ass meals at affordable prices. Many Japanese people commonly use convenience stores to just straight up replace meals. And it works out fine. Can you imagine frequently eating convenience store food for your meals here in America? No. Not at all. Never in my life have I ever thought about that. That's basically the equivalent of just getting garbage fast food all the time, which many Americans do, by the way, and it's never been medically recommended. But don't just go out there shitting on American citizens. There are reasons that aren't necessarily super in their control. Anyway, cheap and affordable meals that don't clog your arteries do not exist in most of America, outside of like making them yourself. Many of these meals at Japanese convenience stores are like 500 to 700 yen, and they aren't small. In American dollars, it's like $3.80 to like $5. Now, I know to them, 500 yen is more expensive than 500 yen is to us, and I get that. That's just how currencies and currency strength and dollars and shit works. I'm aware, but still, it would very much be appreciated if American convenience stores did a similar thing. Nice meals, healthy meals, ready to eat on the go, $5 to $7. At my local HEB, which is like a Texas grocery store, they have meals similar to what you'd find in a Japanese konbini, but they're in a grocery store, not a convenience store. And for those of you who don't know, in America, a large majority of America, especially the South, grocery stores are places you go, buy a butt ton of food to last you the next like 2 weeks or whatever. They're not places that you're just like, oh, I'm on my way to work, I'm just gonna stop in and grab something, because you have to go in, park your car in a parking lot, get out, go get your shit. There's probably a lot of people there. Check out, and then come all the way back to your car, and then keep going to work. It's not the same. It takes longer. It's a pain. Convenience stores, we do that with convenience stores, not grocery stores, but they don't sell those in convenience stores. And because of that, in America, you don't just casually go to a convenience store to grab lunch or dinner. Maybe breakfast. They do have a lot of breakfast sandwiches. If you want those prepared and balanced meals, you'd have to go to a grocery store, stock up on them to be eaten later during the next week or two. What we have in our convenience stores are hard-clogging pieces of garbage that would probably be illegal if you sold them in other countries. Those are the affordable options. We don't have any balanced meals in our convenience stores. The most you can hope for is a frozen healthy meal with maybe, if you're lucky, only half the periodic table in its ingredients. We do have ready-to-eat foods, of course. These usually include things like chicken wings, pizza slices, potato wedges, stuff like that. If you're fancy, you can go to a 7-Eleven and get these like weird roller things that are like a bunch of different flavors. Like, I'll throw some up here right now. Or like some hot dogs or whatever. I have the hot dog like sitting there rolling. I don't know. They actually taste pretty good. But like after you've eaten them, you can feel there's like a 30% chance you have 2 minutes left to live. Now, I'm not saying Japanese and other convenience stores in densely populated East Asian cities don't have artery clogging food. I'm just saying that in America, we pretty much only have artery clogging food. The only, and I mean only, thing that might even come within 100 light years of being compared to the food offered in Japanese convenience stores are the sandwiches offered by 7-Eleven. They're pretty good. The egg salad one's my favorite. I'll give America a singular point. Oh, and 7-Eleven also sells fruit, but it's dog water. The grapes carry the fruit section. The apples are red delicious apples, aka the worst type of apple. I'm taking the point back. Disgusting. If you want to see more specific differences between the 7-Elevens in Japan and in the US, I'll leave a link in the video by Insider Foods that goes into detail. Go watch that video and cry out of jealousy, my fellow Americans who do not live in Boston, New York, and Chicago. So why don't actually decent meals like this exist in American convenience stores? Well, to start, ready-to-eat foods in American convenience stores are made so that your neurons are activated and you start actively craving more quickly after you finish. Because the foods are also intentionally not filling and provide basically no actual nutritional value to your body. So you end up getting hungrier quicker and spend more money because you want more. Capitalism, baby. Brainwashing your body so you spend more money. Now, you may think I'm lying, specifically the foreign viewers out there, but I promise you, I am not. This is actually what happens. I'm dead serious, not joking. Ready-to-eat meals in American convenience stores are not meant to feed you. They're meant to make you hungrier. Another reason why we don't have these type of foods in our convenience stores. Cultural differences. Japanese cuisine in general emphasizes more of a balance of like flavors and nutrients, with also a heavy focus as well on fresh ingredients. Generally speaking, much of Japanese cuisine definitely has a balance of proteins, vegetables, and grains that just straight up doesn't exist here in America, at least for your everyday meals that your average American will consume. It definitely makes sense that this emphasis would transfer over to Japanese convenience store meals like bento box and sushi, onigiri, stuff like that. Japan also has much stricter food safety and quality standards, which obviously apply to convenience stores as well. This means that Japanese convenience stores are required to like maintain higher standards for their food offerings. We all know that half the shit sold in American convenience stores are probably illegal in every other first world country, all for the sake of making profit, baby. Okay, now stepping away from the actual food in the convenience stores, I want to talk about the store themselves. What am I jealous of here? Cleanliness. Japanese convenience stores, and honestly, just the country in general, don't look like a hurricane just blew through them. I am eternally jealous. I am of the mind, keep your private space as messy as you want, you know, obviously within reasonable standards, but once you're in a more public area, like maybe your living room or your kitchen or the streets or buildings, you keep them clean, right? You know, part of me also feels like, at least in America, it's only like half the American store's fault that it's really dirty here. I'm sure they do try to clean like regularly and stuff, but I know it's a tough job. Americans are just dirty in general. I think the only time I've ever walked into a convenience store and was like, wow, this place is sparkling clean. Do I deserve to be in a place that's nice? Was when the one by my house just opened up, and that was a few years back. While it's definitely not a trash heap, definitely not amazing. And finally, my next biggest jealousy about Japanese convenience stores, and my biggest problem about American convenience stores, proximity. Now, I know you might be thinking, but Nick, the nearest convenience store / gas station is like a few minutes away from my house, and Japanese convenience stores are like a few minutes away by foot. Exactly, that's it. Why are my only options to get to a convenience store hopping in a car and driving, taking public transportation, which involves waiting for who knows how long, especially the garbage public transportation in the South, or like walking for 30 minutes to an hour just to get a snack? It's so stupid. I guess my problem here isn't necessarily the proximity of the convenience stores themselves, but more, I mean, yes it is, but it's more about how a vast majority of America is not built for pedestrians. It's built for cars. It's not the actual commute time that I'm upset with when it comes to cars. I don't mind any reason to listen to audiobooks. The problem is that I have to drive. Unless you have a disability, I know that a majority of sane people would prefer to walk 5 minutes to grab a bite over driving 5 minutes to grab a bite. It gets you off your butt for a little bit, stretch your legs, relax a bit in nature, and last but certainly not least, it's free. You don't have to spend money on gas. If you can live your perfectly normal life without a car, and by that I mean there's no difficulties that come with not having a car, more or less. You don't need to pay for a car. You don't need to pay for car insurance. You don't need to pay for gas. And you don't need to worry about dying in a car accident anywhere near as much. The fourth leading cause of death in the United States in 2022 is car accidents. Third, if you don't count COVID deaths. So I'm sure in the future, it'll make its way back to number 3. Anyways, at the end of the day, I'm extremely envious, jealous of Japanese convenience stores. If you are Japanese, appreciate them, because those of us in the third world country with a Gucci bag that is America lack something so small yet so life-changing at the exact same time. These convenience stores represent a rich pedestrian culture that a majority of America does not have and will probably never have as long as these billion-dollar corporations have their way. Vote these corporation enabling mother hecker politicians out of office. Peace.